What do you mean that I cannot be with him because he's an outsider? Nneka cried. Because I have cried enough, her mother replied sharply. A very long time ago, in a land that had 7 seas and 7 mountains, 7 markets and 7 shrines, there lived a powerful village that did everything alone. Their ancestors separated themselves from other villages because they were betrayed by a neighboring village. Since then, marriage with anyone outside their village was forbidden. It had become common knowledge that no one from the village dared to marry or make friends with people from other villages. The village chiefs made sure that they didn't allow strangers to enter their borders except on very important occasions. Mothers would make sure that their children stayed away from the village fence. If mothers do not stop their daughters, they would be summoned by the village head and punished. But a young maiden, Nneka, always asked questions about why they could not forget about the past and move on like every other village. Do you want the village chief to punish me? Nneka's mother angrily replied. She told Nneka that there was nothing special about the neighboring villages that she would not find in their village. Nneka tells her mother that she might soon run away if she has to live all her life in the village without seeing what the rest of the world looks like. She pleaded with her mother to help her go out for just once. She promised not to make friends with people from other villages. Nneka's mother pleaded with her not to run away. She promised that she would take her outside the village soon so that she could explore the world, but that she had to be patient. It was time again for the village festival, and as always, chosen maidens were saddled with the responsibility of fetching water from the stream of the gods deep in the forest. The elders each began suggesting maidens that should be given the privilege of going to the stream of the gods to fetch this water. After the meeting, 4 girls were chosen, and as fate would have it, Nneka was third on the list. Nneka ran home to tell her mother the good news. Her mother was equally very happy. Her mother pleaded with her not to take the chance for granted because if she returned successfully without having any interactions with people from other villages, she would automatically be allowed to lead the group every year until she is married. Nneka promised her mother not to disappoint her. She promised to face her business and return without causing any troubles. On the eve of when the ladies would embark on their journey, Nneka could not sleep as she wondered about what it looked like outside the village. She smiled and thought about how the birds would sing to her and if she would see men bigger than those in her village or smaller. Finally, Nneka found some sleep. Early at dawn, Nneka and her mother had begun to arrange the small bag. Her mother put lots of bread and fruits in the bag, enough to last the journey. They were soon done and Nneka hugged her mother before hurrying out to meet the other ladies who were already waiting for her. Villagers in their numbers filled the streets as the maidens made their way to the village gate. As they got to the gate, the ladies became even more excited and nervous about leaving the village for the first time. Although the leader of the party had gone out before the previous year, so she was more relaxed. Nneka looked back at the wooden fence and smiled. The 3 ladies carried their water pots with care as that was the only thing that the stream of the gods would accept. While they chatted and laughed, Nneka sensed that someone was following them. Their leader laughed and told them to calm down as the sound of feet they were hearing were those of the young men in the next village who were hunting. Nneka was worried and hoped that the hunters wouldn't shoot their arrows at them by error. While she was still talking, a deer ran and fell in front of them. It had 2 arrows stuck in its body. The ladies quickly ran forward in order to avoid having to talk to the hunters. As they ran, Nneka turned back and saw a young man. He was a well-built young man who looked so cute. He looked different from the men in her village. As Tobe, the young man with the deer, looked at the ladies, his gaze caught the staring eyes of Nneka. His smile sent a shiver down her spine. She quickly ran into the middle of the other maidens. The leader of the maidens warned the others not to forget that their village must never have anything to do with people from other villages, as is their customs. Nneka asked the leader about what the possible consequences of making friends with these outsiders may bring. The leader told her that such a situation might cause war between both villages and the individual from their place will be severely punished and might be killed. The leader advises them to go about their businesses and get the water back to their village in peace to avoid troubles. The maidens sat down to eat before they continued their journey to the stream of the gods. The journey would take 2 more hours before they get to the stream. While the maidens ate, Nneka lifted her face and saw Toby hiding behind the woods. The others did not see him though. The leader of these chosen maidens stood up and advised them to continue their journey on time so that they would be able to get to the stream before midnight. They continued their journey and soon they got to the stream of the gods. This stream was a very special stream because it shone like gold. The fishes in this stream were also golden. The leader told them that there was no time to waste and she taught them the prayers they were to make before being able to fetch the water. After praying to the gods, they placed their pots by the river bank and water got inside of its own accord. The leader told them to thank the gods and prepare to leave. They carried their pots and picked their bags. It was time to return home. They were happy that they saw so many things they cannot find in their village. One of the ladies complained of being tired and the other two joined her. The leader was not happy to stop, but she had no choice but to wait for those who needed to rest. They eventually decided to sleep there for the night and continue their journey the following morning. However, while they slept, something happened. Nneka soon wakes up. She was feeling uneasy. She looked around in fear as crickets, snakes, rats, and other animals made their various sounds. As she looks around, she sees Tobe hiding behind the trees from a short distance. Tobe motioned Nneka to go closer. Nneka's heart by this time had begun to beat very fast. She was torn between going to this extremely handsome young man or staying away to avoid troubles. She summoned courage and like everyone hit by love, she threw caution to the wind. She went to Tobe. Tobe introduced himself as the hunting chief of the neighboring village. He told her how much she had captured a soul that he could not concentrate since he saw her. Nneka told Tobe about how they are forbidden to be friends, let alone get into a romantic relationship with an outsider. Tobe said that he had thought of everything and had followed her, hoping that she would want him enough to give him a chance. "You want to sleep with me outside wedlock?" Nneka queried. Tobe asked her what other options he had. Nneka told him how her whole clan would be against her mother and her. While they spoke, one of the maidens woke up. Nneka quickly pushed Tobe behind a tree and asked him to hide as she didn't want her fellow maidens to see her with an outsider. While they hid themselves, Tobe felt something strange in her body. Nneka also felt something around her waist area. She discovered that her body temperature was rising. Her breath was shaking. She turned to face Tobe. His eyes were fiery. His lips shook. They soon tore into each other like the arrow tore into the deer's skin. They were both ravenous as they touched each other. Before Nneka could tell what was happening, they had copulated. Just like hot coal when it touches water, they both breathed down and looked at the scene they had created. The maiden who had woken up had returned to sleep, and Nneka had committed the abomination, had carnal knowledge of an outsider. It dawned on her that she had broken the promise she made to her mother. Tobe begged her to follow him home, since it would be trouble if her people found out that she was with an outsider. He says that he loves her too much to let her go. Nneka told him that she loves him, but cannot be with him because if she decides to follow him, The village leaders might kill her mother or declare a war on the neighboring village. Tobe took a bracelet from his hand and gave it to Nneka. He begged her to take it because that was how they could see each other again. Nneka cries as she collects the bracelet. Toby says that the bracelet is a gift from his father. Nneka collected and hid the bracelet as she quickly went to join the other maidens. By noon the next day, the ladies had gotten back to the village. They were treated to heroic welcome. Everyone in the village, both men and women, waited by the village gate to welcome them. Immediately they dropped the water pots in the shrine, they all went to their houses. Nneka got home but lost all form of happiness. She could no longer eat or talk to her friends. Her mother was worried. She went into her room to inquire. "Am I not your mother again?" Her mother asked. "Why would anything be bothering you and you will choose to hide it from the one person who can help you?" She continued. Nneka cries and placed her head on her lap. Her mother became more worried. "I have failed you, mother." Nneka cries as she brought out the bracelet and showed it to her mother. "I met a man," she cried. Nneka's mother asked her to narrate everything to her. Nneka says that the young man who broke her virginity gave her the bracelet because he claimed to love her so much. She slowly stood up and went out. Nneka cried more. Nneka's mother soon returned with a bracelet that looked exactly like the one with her daughter. Nneka was shocked about how her mother had the same type of bracelet. Nneka's mother told her that she lied about the death of Nneka's father. She revealed how Nneka's father was banished from the land because he made friends with the outsiders. She said that before he was banished, he gave her the bracelet for her to remember him with. She said she was just 2 months old pregnant with Nneka at the time. Nneka's mother told her that the young man who had given the bracelet to her must be her brother, who was banished along with the father. Nneka looked utterly shocked. Nneka's mother begged her daughter to forgive her because she didn't know how to share all those bad memories with her. Nneka was shaking so bad that she locked herself inside her room for days and refused to eat or talk to anyone. Nneka's mother could not eat as well. She made up her mind and decided to do something to stop others from facing her same fate. Nneka's mother gathered a few women and asked for how long they were going to be slaves in their own land because of the hatred passed down from their ancestors. She asked the women to bring more women. As time went on, Nneka's mother had more women behind her. They were soon like the number of a great army. Maidens joined them also. Nneka heard about it and soon joined her mother and other women and maiden. They decided to do the unthinkable. They marched down to the village chief's house without clothes. The village chief sent out his wife to plead with the women, but they would not budge. The elders quickly gathered at the village chief's house for an emergency meeting. They argued the benefits of locking themselves away from the world and denying their people the freedom of association with other villages. At the end of the heated debate, they decided to abolish the self-imprisonment that they had subjected themselves to. The elders and the village chief sent the village chief's wife to let the women know that their request had been granted. Everyone became very happy and went about their businesses with ease. Nneka and her mother became very happy, but her mother warned her that what had happened must remain a secret between them. While they spoke, Nneka fainted. Nneka's mother revived her and placed her on the bed for her to rest. The village nurse who came to treat Nneka broke a very sad news. Nneka is 3 weeks pregnant. That's the tragic story of Nneka. What did you learn from the story? Share your view in the comment section. And please, don't forget to subscribe and like for more African stories like this. Thank you.